Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, welcome to our October 9th, 2023 meeting. The public is viewing our meeting at youtube.com, Edgecombe County Public Schools. At this moment, we will call this meeting to come to order. Would you please stand with us as we do our Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing if you will, as we stand in a moment of silence in remembrance of one of our former superintendents, Mr. Lee R. Hall. Mr. Hall served the Edgecombe County Schools for 25 years as superintendent. He was the last superintendent before the merger of the Tarver City and Edgecombe County Schools. Please bow in a moment of silence in remembrance of Mr. Hall, who was laid to rest in a hospital this morning. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Fred. I hope each of you had an opportunity to pick up an agenda as you were coming in. We will follow it to the T. Board members, I would ask you if you had an opportunity to review our new agenda. If you have any comments at this time, if not, I need to hear a motion for approval of the agenda as printed.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the agenda as printed.
Second.
Has been moved and properly seconded that we will approve our agenda as printed. Any other discussion, board members, on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very kindly. Recognitions, Ms. Hoke.
Good evening, Madam Board Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, other members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Bryan. I'm excited to announce our ECPS Employee of the Month for October. Peggy Buck is an elementary teacher at G.W. Bullock School. She has been a part of the Bullock family for 28 years. She taught kindergarten up until this school year when she transitioned to become the school's reading intervention teacher, where she will have the opportunity to reach even more students. Students are her first priority, and she's a great advocate for their educational needs. Her exceptional talent for building strong connections with both students and their families sets her apart. She has mentored many teachers that are new to the teaching profession and has been a constant leader at Bullock. According to Principal Melissa Altimos, Mrs. Buck goes above and beyond to see all students advance academically and personally. Before taking on her new role this year, she spent her entire summer researching and planning ways to meet the diverse needs of all students in the building. In addition to being a great instructional leader in the classroom, she is an incredibly humble and team-oriented. She approaches each day with energy and enthusiasm, ready to serve the students of Bullock Elementary School. Congratulations to the ECPS Employee of the Month, Mrs. Peggy Buck. We have a gift card for her from Greg Sessoms, a local State Farm agent.
moving with the agenda, and the next thing is our public comments. I have the sheet and no one has signed in to speak. That's a little strange. Okay, we'll move forward to our item 5. And at this time, I will ask the board to approve their minutes for September 11th, 2023. If you have no comments or anything to add or subtract, I will call for a motion to approve our September 11th minutes.
Madam
Open
Chair.
session minutes, rather.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve our September 11, 2023 regular business board meeting open session minutes.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve our September 11th, 2023 open session minutes. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very kindly. I also need to have a motion to approve our September 28th meeting minutes.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the September 28, 2023 open session minutes.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve our September 28th open session minutes. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you very kindly. Item 6, items for information. School update, Dr. Bryan.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members. Just a few updates tonight regarding some things that are upcoming and things we're working on. Next week, we'll be celebrating College Application Spirit Week, trying to highlight our district goal of college acceptance for all. Students will be engaged in various activities throughout the week focused on colleges and careers. Some of the activities will include bulletin board decorating contests, career interest surveys, special morning announcements, and guest speakers. Many thanks to Dr. Batts and the College Application Week Planning Committee for leading this effort. And you are invited to join us in wearing neon, tie-dye, fluorescent colors on Monday for our Future So Bright Day. And this conversation is really important for navigating the path forward for students who want to be ready and apply for college, and make sure we have that conversation now and throughout their careers. We're also in the process of forming several superintendent advisory committees. Each one's designed to gather insights and expertise from multiple team members. The first committee is comprised of school-based teachers of the year. We will meet with them after school on Tuesday, October 17. Other committees will include groups consisting of students, parents, and classified staff. These committees will play an important role for us in ensuring that we continue to provide the best possible learning experiences for our students. Input is critically important, and as we noted in a previous community meeting, we're also putting together a parent advisory group for our schools that will be coming to us from Nash County next year, and be reaching out to the parents as well, getting important feedback and input from them. They have to be part of that process for us to transition. It's critically important. We also, in the calendar, have an upcoming planning day on Friday, October 13th, an optional planning day for staff, and Monday, October 14th is a required planning day for Edgecombe Early College and Edge Academy. That should be 16. Close on the typo again. Okay. This coincides with Edgecombe Community College fall break. That's the 16th for that on your package. Finally, October is National Principals Month, and we are celebrating and honor our incredible ECPS principals who shape our schools and inspire our students every day. I can attest, after just my first few weeks as superintendent, they work really hard and put a great deal of effort in educating our students and making sure our buildings are run very well. And Just want to thank them for all their hard work. Principal of the Year interviews were actually held earlier today, and we will announce this year's ECPS Principal of the Year this week. So it's one of the most important positions that we have. And I'm very excited about the principals we have and the hard work that they put in every day to support our students, parents, and community. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions on any of the items they covered in the school update? Okay, we'll move into item number 2. Mr. Perkins.
Good evening,
Good evening, Ms. Perkins.
Board Chair, Vice Chair, Board members, Dr. Brian. I come tonight to give you all the maintenance updates. This is Martin Millennium Academy rooftop units. They've been put in. They should be done this week. They're waiting on the electrical panel. This is Coker condenser units. We replaced them. They're completed. There's our air handlers. This is Southwest Weather Lab panel upgrade. That has been completed. West Middle painting, that has been completed. That's it.
Well, you all have gotten a lot of work done since the last meeting.
We tried.
That report sounds very positive.
We're trying to go in the right direction.
Yes, thank you.
And you put a lot of fires out in between, haven't you?
Yes, ma'am. Still putting them out. Yes, ma'am.
Now, I need to ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This morning, when I awakened, it was absolutely cold. Now, we're gonna be all right with the schools when it's time to turn the knob the other
The
way?
boiler's on.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. I'm talking with the contractors. They should have all that up and running, but bullet, they're still working on that one.
oh,
So,
okay.
but hopefully they'll have that pretty soon. And what I do, I'll check on bullet again tomorrow to make sure. But rest of them should be ready.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
when it's time.
Yes, ma'am.
Change.
When it's time to switch back
Change.
over. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Are there any, Mr. Perkins, are there any so actually, we're in good shape. Are there any boilers on back order, or everything is good?
Right now, everything is good. But now, I think we just mostly waiting on the chillers.
Okay.
Matter of fact, they just sent an email saying the chiller for Tarver will not be November, it'll be January the 5th, I believe. Yes. Yes, January 5th, before we be able to get that.
okay. Any other questions?
I have another question. So what's the magic number to turn the boilers on, to fire everything up? Do you have a magic number, temperature number, or?
No, what we usually do is we wait for the principal to send us an email, and when they're cold, and the students just send us an email, and we'll send our HVAC technician to go out there and crank it up. But no, it's not a magic number, it's whatever the principal decides they want it on.
I didn't know in a lot of federal buildings, it's like when it gets to be 45 outside, then the heat comes on, and when it gets to be like 74, the heat goes off and the air conditioning goes on. So it's.
Yeah, because I know like this morning, the air conditioning not going to come on this morning because it was too cold for it to come on. So that wasn't on.
Well, we thank you for your hard work.
Absolutely.
I mean, thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank y'all.
Okay, appreciate it. School improvement. Dr. Knight.
Good evening, Madam Chair,
Good evening.
Mr. Vice Chair, Superintendent. This evening, I just want to share with you our school improvement plans. You should have received a flash drive, and those of you who have requested hard copies, you got those as well. On your flash drive, you have a folder for each school, and in each school's folder, there are 2 files. One file is the overview of the entire plan, and then one file is the entire plan for each one of the schools. Our low-performing schools, the information that you have in your packet is for our 7 low-performing schools in the district. However, because we put all of our school plans in NC STAR, our plans that are TSI, CSI, and our Title I schools, those plans will all need to be also approved at the next board meeting. So rather than giving several different ones, with us putting everything in NC STAR, when we approve the plan, when you approve the plans next month, hopefully you will have the opportunity to approve all of those at one time. And so one of the things that we are required to do for our low-performing schools is to post on our district website our plans and request feedback from the community. So very quickly, I'm just going to show you where to go. This is considered a button on the front of our school plan, and it keeps moving on me. That's too bad. Just refresh, and it comes up. Just click on the button, and then the public will be able to see all of our school improvement plans for the year. And then if they go here, select school improvement plan feedback, there's a drop-down menu. They can choose the school that they want to make comments on the plan, select that school, and then just go ahead and type their questions or comments here and submit that form. This form will be up until the day of the board meeting. We will take it down that morning around 11 o'clock to noon. So if there are any comments or anything for any of the plans, we will let those principals know. And if it's something that they can approve, go in and make those changes before the board meeting. We will let you know if there were changes. If there are no changes, then we will let you know that as well when we come back for approval next week. Any questions?
Dr. Knight, do we have any parents that really put in comments?
Last year we had one person started a comment, but it wasn't really a comment. It's like they went in and they just put a couple of words. I don't even know if it was towards the plan. It was like duh or something like that, just one comment. So typically, no, we really don't have a lot of
Are they aware that this plan is out there for their review?
It is on our website, and all of our schools that are designated low performing, there's a letter that the students had to take home, that the schools had to take home, and I believe those letters should have gone out today in Spanish as well as in English. If they didn't go home today, they should go home this week.
Any other comments to Dr. Knight? Well, I have one. I took the time to read every document that was sent to me,
Okay.
okay? And knowing me, I read with a red pen. If there's a little red question mark on the top sheet, it means I have some questions on that. And I choose not to do tonight because that would be the only thing we can cover. And we have a full agenda.
Okay.
So I'm asking you who, when, and where I sit with you, the principal, or whoever, to share my comments on every document that I read.
Okay. You can start with me and Miss Amy Pierce. She works with our school improvement plans, and then we can see which schools and then we can set up a time if you have specific questions for that principal that we may not can answer, and then we can go from there.
Okay. I will have my first conversation with you.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thank you.
All right, we are moving on to item 4 under here, and that is Ms. Bowman.
Good evening, Madam Board Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, Board of Education, and Dr. Bryan.
Good evening.
My name is Anisha Barnes, and I am the Coordinator of Talent Recruitment and Development, and I'm here today to give you updates in regards to our recruitment efforts. As you are aware, attracting and retaining talented educators is crucial for the success and growth of our schools. In an ever-evolving educational landscape, it is essential that we continuously explore innovative approaches to recruit and develop highly qualified teachers who can provide exceptional learning experiences for our scholars. Just the topics that quickly wanted to discuss with you tonight were talent recruitment, beginning teacher support, partnership and collaboration, and the recognition of our staff. For talent and recruitment, we are reviewing current recruitment strategies and their effectiveness in attracting high-quality candidates. We are discussing the challenges in recruiting diverse candidates and also ensuring representation and inclusion within our teaching staff. We are exploring ways to enhance our outreach efforts by leveraging technology, social media platforms, and partnerships with local organizations. Flyers have been placed at multiple locations throughout Nash and Edgecombe counties. We have also made individual phone calls that are placed to our highly qualified candidates who have applied to discuss just the wonderful and great opportunities we have available here in ECPS. And we are also sharing those resumes out to all the departments and to the school administrators. Once we get them, we're making sure we're vetting them through. And if we see some great candidates, we immediately send them off. And we have also been attending multiple job fairs. So some locations include universities throughout North Carolina. We've also have looked at community colleges and Braswell Memorial Library. We have partnered with the other departments and administrators as well, so they are always welcome to come with us, and we have always had a great time in that moment. We do talk with our administrators just to get some feedback to see what are their needs, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for all of us. We would like to thank our technology department for creating our flyer for us that was shared throughout social media and what we've been posting. Our beginning teacher support. Beginning teachers and new teachers had a 3-day orientation to ECPS. All departments presented during the orientation. We talked about our NESIS, state law, policies and procedures, licensure pathways, as well as curriculum essentials. We have 101 beginning teachers. 43 of them are BT1s, 39 are BT2s, and 19 are BT3s. We also have been honored to be able to have a 2-to-1 ratio with 2 BTs with 1 mentor. We got some feedback back, and they really love this model, that now they really have a close-knit community there. We also had the opportunity to provide instructional supplies funds for our BTs. Our BT1s received $1,000, our BT2s received $750, and our BT3s received $500. They were able to go on Amazon and Office Depot and order these supplies. Just to give you just some feedback from one BT, Emily Lemus from Edge Academy, she's a BT1. As a first-year teacher, the supply funds are essential to provide a meaningful history class for my 9th and 10th graders. I love that I can put new books into the hands of my students. I'm so grateful and encouraged to have these books and supplies that I need for our excellent scholars. We have partnerships and collaborations with multiple colleges throughout North Carolina. We have teacher residency programs, internships with student teaching, and we are providing hands-on experiences in these partnerships and collaboration. Our international partnerships. While we are recruiting in the traditional way, we would also like to broaden our horizon. We would like to expand our international partnerships. Some come to us through our current partnership with Participate, while others come to us through other avenues. Today, we do have Ms. Bridget Kalutse. She is a teacher at Tarboro High School. She teaches chemistry. She is a teacher that we do have through other avenues, and we are so thankful that you came here tonight, and we're thankful for everything that you do for ECPS. The benefits of international partnerships are that the retention rate is very high, they are very experienced educators, and they are committed to their schools and communities. We would love to expand our conversation on building a more robust relationship, as well as exploring through more conversations with our partnering districts, just seeing how is this process working for them. And lastly, our recognition of staff. We like to celebrate our staff, celebrate their innovative ideas. We have our BT of the Year, our Teacher of the Year, and as Dr. Bryan said, we just finalized our Principal of the Year this afternoon. We also, with our VTs, we like to have an end-of-year celebration. Thank you to all of you who came in June of this past year for our brunch, music, and awards. Every VT receives an award, and we want to just continue that on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, only thing I'm gonna say is they got the right person to deal with this. With your personality, I know we're gonna stay on top of whatever we have to do, and you're gonna notify the right folks.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, does any other? We certainly appreciate your presentation. Anyone have?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This is just a general question. You were talking about diverse candidates. Is there, are there, let me rephrase it, are there many Latino or Hispanic teachers graduating? I mean, is it a population?
There's not a huge population currently in North Carolina, but that's where we have our international. That's where that piece connects, and that's how we're able to get more to come in. But we do make sure that when we are going out and recruiting, we're trying to gain more who are coming out of our North Carolina schools.
I know in the past we've always said we want our teaching staff to reflect our population in our classrooms, and I think we've done a good job of not having as many white teachers. I hate to say it like that, but now I look and think, you know, we have a growing Hispanic population, but when I go to graduations, I don't see many in the School of Education, so I don't know if it's a field in this area that's not attracting students. And I know we have some internal candidates going through the Teacher Scholar Program, but it would be good, you know, if we could mimic our classrooms and our teachers, you know, a little better. And I know it's not because you're not trying to do that. That's why I asked, you know, is it, you know, there are not many available graduating in our area.
We are making sure that when we do go to job fairs, we kind of let them know about the possibilities of an alternative licensure.
Right.
So if they are graduating and they are looking for a job, we're still making sure that we are educating them on the possibilities.
Well, I would want to come work here because of you. I'm just telling you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else have a question? Thank you, Ms.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Okay, next item, Dr. Bryan.
Couple informational items on field trips. One to Phillips Middle School and then West Edgewood Middle School to NC State. Occurred on October 7th. Any questions about those?
Next one, please.
Fundraisers, also Southwest Edgecombe and T.W. Parker, also Christian athletes, and PTO fundraisers. Questions about fundraisers?
Yes. Board members have any questions? I do not have any questions.
If there are no questions, I'll move on to approval of the community facilities use. Southwest Edgecombe, the class of 1983 alumni. Questions about that?
I do not. What about the rest of you? Anyone have any concerns on that? We okay? We okay on that?
All right. So, two informational items here. One is for the an update on the merger plan for Edgecombe and Nash County schools. And then a legal update on the redistricting memo that everyone has received. I appreciate everyone who came out to the community meeting that we had a week and a half ago, and in referencing trying to get outlining our plan for the merger. And tonight we're going to update the board on where we are with that. I'd ask Mr. Sharp to come forward and talk a little bit about that plan, and have a brief presentation to get the highlights. And before he starts and he gets the technology ready, I do want to just mention how hard our staff has worked on putting this plan together and transitioning a plan for next year to support students in the community. Had certainly some important decisions to make this plan work. And as I stated at the last community meeting, I think it's critically important that we begin shifting the conversation from the logistical transition of students to what we're going to be doing to partner with the community about educating students and what we're going to be providing students in the classroom. So on that note, I'll turn it over to Mr. Sharp, and we'll jump right in.
Well, good evening. Good evening, Madam Chair. Good evening, Vice Chair, board members, community constituents, staff members, and thank you all for attending. First, before we begin, a quick shout out to the board first for your attendance at these community outreach meetings. We appreciate your presence so much. I've tried to make a point to go to every one of the board members and let you know that we don't take those for granted, though your presence there, because you could be doing many other things. We just appreciate you so much for that. And we appreciate also the other constituency persons who come out and support us in that effort. That being said, I want to review quickly. You notice you have a packet that also has some additional information about the written grant transfer that provides a bit more detail. But for now, because of the sixth time and all of the different information we got to present, we're going to go through this very quickly as we possibly can. Just wanted to share with you a bit about our brief response to the synopsis of our requirement for the legislative mandates contained in Senate Bill 248's county line written plan of transfer. And you will note on the next slide, So you'll see this next slide provides a brief synopsis and a little bit of history regarding the merger. We will not go through each and every one of those items because they're far too many and far too intricate in terms of their detail. We want to just highlight just a few of those areas if you don't mind. If you will notice up at 1992, the schools in the city of Rocky Mountain, Nash County united to create the big school district called Nash County, Nash Rocky Mountain Schools, and this meant that approximately 2,000 students at that time who lived in Edgecombe County. The number has become a little bit reduced. I think we're around 1,750 at this time, but around that time it was around 2,000 students who lived in Edgecombe County were part of Rocky Mountain system. They now became a part of the new school district called the Nash Rocky Mountain School System. 92, both Edgecombe County and the city of Rocky Mountain desired for every student to receive the same amount of funding, and so they took it into their best interest to make sure that we paid what we call the gap, so that Edgecombe County students had the same possibilities for success in terms of resources and for those money as the Nash County students. And then in 2016, after the General Assembly created Senate Bill 382, it changed the rules for the 1992 merger. Edgecombe County leaders talked about, at that time, allowing our students to come back to Edgecombe County. So those conversations began. And in 2020, Edgecombe County Commissioners provided funding for the Edgecombe County Public Schools to hire Executive Director for Transition and Redesign. That was about a 3-year process. 23, State Bill 248 was approved around June 12th, and it provided funding for Edgecombe County Public Schools. It provided the students who would separate in the fall of 2024 from the Nash County District. The bill also stated that the Nash County Commissioners, Edgecombe County Public Schools, Edgecombe County Commissioners, and Edgecombe County Public School System would work together in unison to create a plan, right, that had to be approved by all 4 boards due on November 15th, 2023. In 2023 and 24, Edgecombe County Public Schools is working with our students and our families and community. We're working really hard to make sure that we're creating a cohesive effort to bring all of our families in, to hear their community concerns, to hear their questions. We created interest surveys. We created an online presence called a landing page for our transition efforts, so that parents can go in and peruse those and ask questions and state their concerns. Staffing. Edgecombe County Public Schools invites our staff to continue to come out and continue to serve in the Edgecombe County community. That means that those staff members who are Nash County Public Schools system staff, we actually conducted a recruitment piece with Ms. Barnes, also and Dr. Pittman, at our previous Edgecombe community outreach effort held at D.S. Johnson Elementary School. We didn't get the numbers that we would expect, but we will be having and hosting some additional ones, one at Baskerville Elementary and another one at Parker, that will be occurring soon. We will hope to do a more intense effort of recruiting and having those conversations and having that information out there for the public perusal, as well as for Nash counties, so that that talent, we can maybe maintain a lot of that talent. Our school structures, we spent a lot of time developing these school structures, and so again, I want to shout out to all those members who are too numerous to name right now, who were part of the community design team, the community merger design team, where the East Rocky Mount community was able to come out and offer some input with regards to how they wanted to see the school structures. We combined those with our interest surveys. We also combined those with our Q&A, and in doing so, we were able to come up with these recommendations. And as you know, you'll see pre-kindergarten, our main focus was the pre-kindergarten through 2nd grade for Fairview, D.S. Johnson's 3rd grade through 5th grade, Baskerville's kindergarten through 5th grade with a pre-K pending licensure. Parker 6th through 8th grade, 9th grade Student Center at Rocky Mountain Industrial Incubator, or North Edgecombe High School as options. The Edgecombe County Public Schools District and Rocky Mount stakeholder recommendation is to maintain, and you notice that that's underlined for a reason, because that seemed to be consensus of our community, that the move was, and the comfort level for our community was to continue to maintain the current levels of students at those schools that we will be inheriting. Pending board approval, our students will be assigned to these schools using the 2023-2024 Nash County Public School attendance boundaries. Moving on, 9th through 12th grade students. 9th grade students will have a unique educational experience at either the Edgecombe Industrial Incubator or North Edgecombe High School. Students can also apply to Edge Academy of Sciences and Edgecombe Early College High School. 9th grade students will participate in athletics at North Edgecombe High School. Students entering grades 10, 11, 12, 13 will have the opportunity to continue as legacy students within the Nash County Public Schools system until they graduate from high school, until that graduation class has gone. 10th through 12th grade students who elect to come to Edgecombe County Public Schools will attend North Edgecombe High School or Edge Academy, the 10th grade. Moving on, transfer of assets, items purchased with state funds. Edgecombe County Public Schools and Nash County Public Schools are working collaboratively to transfer these items to Edgecombe County Public Schools. These items that were purchased with federal funds for Edgecombe County Public Schools and Nash County Schools. We are working together collaboratively. They have really been working hard with us and working collectively with us to create a process where we are able to work through some of these issues, because some of them involve the Department of Public Instruction, some of them involve federal programs, et cetera. And so we are working hard with the U.S. Department of Education to determine the reasonable fair market value of these assets and how Edgecombe County Public Schools will acquire these selected assets. Technology. Just briefly, Edgecombe County Public Schools is working with Nash County Public Schools and examining our internal budgets through Joseph Hayes and his contemporaries over at Nash to ensure that our new students have the technology and instructional materials they will need in order to continue through our 11 out of 14 and hopefully 14 out of 14, and then hopefully our 18 out of 18. There you go, I was counting those. And so I believe we're going to get there. We're going to get there, as some of our board members like to so eloquently say. In terms of transportation, Edgecombe County Public Schools will receive buses from Nash County Public Schools according to the current legislation that's in place. We will also operate a fleet of 65 passenger buses. Now, Nash County Public Schools operates a fleet of mostly 72 passenger buses, which creates a little bit of a problem for us because our maintenance facility can only service the 65 passenger buses, unfortunately. So the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction is exploring the option of partnering with several of our local LEAs who maintain a fleet of 65 passenger buses in order to receive those 72 passenger buses from Nash County Public Schools and to give those 65 passenger buses to us so we can inherit those buses and we're able to get those buses into our fleet and in our maintenance facility where they can only hold the 65 buses that we just spoke about. And you'll notice there's QR code here. If you pull your phone out, you can actually go to this part for the academic programs if you wish to acquire some additional information about this. This is the Edgecombe County Public Schools is in the process of creating design teams with teachers, parents, guardians, students, and community members to build signature learning experiences for all of our grade levels, pre-K through 9th grade and beyond. Community involvement, one of Dr. Bryan's biggest and most important pieces that he likes to emphasize for us as a transition team. Edgecombe County Public Schools is committed to transparency. I better say the board also, because a lot of you have mentioned to us that that's one of your areas that you'd like us to continue to focus on. But Edgecombe County Public Schools is committed to transparency and continuous communication with our community as we transition our families and our students into our Edgecombe County Public Schools district. We are involved in the community in the merger processes throughout our monthly community meetings, and these are inclusive, but they do not include everything that we're doing because for the sake of time, we just don't have time to peruse all of it. But our Superintendent Advisory Council, which our Superintendent Dr. Bryan just mentioned earlier today, our signature learning experiences with our design teams, which we just previously mentioned on the previous slide, our alignment of our school calendars, which was a huge thing because parents were really concerned about whether or not their kids who might be attending different schools would be able to work through those processes and create a comfort level for them. And we are committed to doing that, and our welcome packet for our families that we're going to distribute to them at carpool and at all of these community outreach meetings and all of these events and gatherings where our community is coming together. Merger plan and transition timeline. This is just a brief synopsis of the timeline. You can read those for yourself very quickly. And that ends our presentation for tonight. We thank all of you for coming together to work very, very diligently to deal with a process that was quite ambiguous initially, right? Because we didn't have a lot of guidance, right? But we did have a group of people who were ready and prepared to put their heads down, to put their nose down, and to grind each and every day until we were able to create a plan that I think that our community will be comfortable with. And we also just want to take an opportunity to thank Nash County for working together with us.
that you know this number, and I've probably heard it many times, but it won't come to my head right this minute. You said that the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th students who are already in the Nash School District. How many of Edgecombe County students make up these grade levels? How many students? Did you ever?
You're referencing the high school, right?
That's it,
It's
the
about
high
four-
school, 10th, 11th, 12th,
Yes, ma'am.
13th,
It's about 350.
about 350.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
And I did not reference it earlier, but I will be happy.
I believe you
to share
said it before, I just.
Oh, you mean at one of the other community outreach meetings?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we did. We mentioned it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Sharp, one of
Yes, ma'am.
a question somebody had asked me and I didn't have an answer to it, and it was when the students come over, we got seven board members now, and some people are concerned about who's the voice for those students coming in. How do you get that? I mean, you may not have gotten that far, but somebody called me, and I'm just passing that on.
Sure.
May I answer that?
Sure. Absolutely.
I think we're going to
Yes,
have a
sir.
little bit of information in just a moment
Okay.
in reference to the redistricting,
Okay,
which I think
good.
you're talking
All right.
about, and we'll come to that in just the second part of this item.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You mind emailing this to us because my handout didn't have all the pages.
Yes, ma'am. You have to do so.
Thank you.
Yes,
That way
ma'am.
I'll have all the information.
You have to do so, sure.
Any other questions to Mr. Sharp? Thank you very kindly.
You're welcome, Dr. Wilson.
Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
This does have all the pages. Do you want to?
Well, actually, nobody, all of them, okay. Because I was going to say, I don't think any of ours, I stopped at technology. Sure, thank you. Thank you. Especially since the dates run.
My apologies, Mrs. Kent.
No, I just wanted, the dates run
Yes, ma'am.
the end of it, so I'd like to have those. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Erin.
Just a note for the
You get
board
this to reference.
on the timeline. The all boards meeting will be on the 16th of October. And that is an informational meeting for the plans for Nash County and Edgecombe County Public Schools. And then the board will take those plans and will approve those plans in November when their fourth meeting is. We need to submit for the November 15th deadline. Madam Chair, if I may, does anyone have any other questions about the merger plan?
Not right now.
Board Attorney Mrs. Robinson is here to talk a little bit about the memo in reference to redistricting, which raised a question about, and I'll turn it over to her.
Thank you, Dr. Bryan. Good evening, Dr. Wilson, Mr. Ellis, members of the board. As Dr. Bryan mentioned, I'm here this evening to give a legal update on redistricting, partly in response to some of the questions and comments I believe you all have received from members of the community. And in line with what Mr. Sharp said about transparency, it's my understanding from the board that for the legal aspect of this from redistricting, you want to be as transparent with the community as possible. And the materials that were posted to the website is a memo, which is projected here. This is a legal memo that was drafted by my colleague, Deborah Stagner, who, as you all know, is the former board attorney. She worked with you all on redistricting in 2021, is planning to assist with redistricting again. Deborah will also be attending your November board meeting with a full presentation to the board further on these issues. But because this is such an important issue, I wanted to come before you tonight with just a general overview of some of the legal issues outlined in the memo and to answer any questions that you all have. The local session law was established in 1991. It's Session Law 1991-809. That's a local act that originally established the board's 7 electoral districts as well as the date of the primaries. For the board's election, which are the same as the county primaries, which is currently held in March. Since then, the board has redrawn its electoral districts 3 times, based on the census. That's in 2001, 2011, and then 2021. The board's authority to redistrict comes from North Carolina General Statute 115C 37I. And that statute gives the board authority to redistrict under two circumstances, and it's limited to those two circumstances. The first is if the school board receives territory that's either annexed, which means it's received, or if it's excluded, so if the board lost territory, it would then have to redistrict. And then the second, as I mentioned, is based on population changes as reflected in the census every 10 years. So under the general statutes, those are the only two sort of triggering events that would permit the board to redistrict. As you all know, this summer, the General Assembly enacted Session Law 2023-37, also known as Senate Bill 248, which changed the boundary between Nash and Edgecombe school districts to align with the county line for those two counties. I'm sorry, I'll try to scroll down in my in the memo here so you can follow along. As you know, that law states that effective July 1st, 2024, the boundaries of the Nash School Administrative Unit will align with Nash County, and any territory that was previously a part of the Nash School Administrative Unit that is located in Edgecombe County will become a part of the Edgecombe County Public School Administrative Unit. And that last sentence there is what gives you all authority to redistrict. It states any local board of education gaining territory annexed into the school administrative unit shall revise electoral districts in accordance with 15337I that I just mentioned. So the important point here is that on July 1, 2024, on that date, but not before, the board will have authority to revise the electoral districts. Again, like I said, under 115C37I, the board only has authority under those two circumstances, gaining territory or the census. And since the gaining of that territory does not happen until July 1, 2024, the board does not have authority to redistrict before that date. Even if they were to do so, and the concern that's been brought up is the elections in March, right, which is when folks will be voting. People cannot vote in March for a district that is not in place until July 1, 2024. So there's simply not authority by the board to redistrict or for citizens to vote for board members who are not the representatives until that later date in July. For the purposes of planning ahead, I know Deborah has already reached out to Blake Eslin, who is the cartographer who the board worked with in 2021. He has already agreed to work with the board on redistricting. That will be, I'm sure, part of Deborah's presentation next month. So we're already getting things in place so that, you know, if the board says July 2nd, we want to hit the ground with redistricting, we will be ready. There are a couple things to take into account with the elections in March, and if there were any new board members coming onto the board, if, you know, the level of involvement they would want to have in the redistricting process. So probably some things for the board to think about. But under the current statutory framework, again, the board does not have authority to begin the redistricting process until July 1, 2024. Absent any type of local legislation that would be to be pursued, again, that's the current sort of framework and the options before the board. I'm happy to answer any questions that you'll have about that.
Yes. I've heard in the community that the concern is that the students on Edgecombe County side will not have, and some of the community members have said that we need to move our voting time to November in the general election. Now, who has the authority to even, if we, this board recommended it, could that happen? And who tells us that we can move an election day from our time from March to November?
The General Assembly. So as I mentioned, the current session law states that elections are in March. So absent an act, a local act by the General Assembly changing the election till November, the board independently does not have authority to change its election date.
You answer my question.
Any other questions?
Well, when I hear the phrase that those 4 schools, the students attending those 4 schools has no voice. What does that mean when we and the county commissioner, whenever anything comes up pertaining to those students, we are the ones who has to agree to a bond to raise extra money for those schools and so forth? And we've done that. So I just look at it and say, we got 14 voices. Simply because the county commissioners, they have met their responsibility in sending the money to this date. I haven't ever heard that they did not send the money with the students. Am I thinking wrong about this?
I don't know if this is a legal answer. I mean, having been the board attorney for a few months, I mean, my observation is that every member on the board represents all the students in Edgerton County Public Schools, so that you would be representing these students as the board. As far as the specific, legal issue of when they could, through the action of voting, have a say in their elected members on the board, that would not happen until the following year.
Right. Okay. I'm just saying, we need to follow the plan. And what is 248 or 242, whatever that thing is. We're gonna follow that.
And just, I mentioned, enclosed with the memo are copies of the presentation that Deborah and Blake prepared for the board in 2021. And again, they would plan to follow the same process. The proposed plans will be posted to the district website. They can be manipulated, so community members can go in and Zoom and see the maps. There'll be multiple public meetings and hearings. So again, consistent with the word transparency, it's the intention to follow the same process with detailed timelines for the community, ability to interact with the maps, and give feedback for the board before the final redistricted plans are voted on.
So we are making sure that these steps are transparent, because that's another thing. Has been projected that we may be working but not sharing with the community. So I just feel like that needs to stop. And because I don't know of any meetings that anybody have had and trying to hide something. So we don't want that. And just like now, you're making this presentation. I don't think it's hidden. It's online, I guess. Anybody want to be listening to what you are saying. And I'm hoping people are listening to this board meeting.
Just reiterate again that Deborah will be back next month with a detailed presentation and kind of walk through the steps of what that could look like, so provide even more information for the community as well.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent. presentation. Thank you, Mr. Drew. Thank you so much for providing that. Okay, we're on item 7. The reports, policy.
Good evening, Madam Board Chair,
Good evening.
Vice Chair, Board of Education members, and Dr. Bryan. Last month, we had the opportunity to present a new board policy to you, Board Policy 7512, Employee Injured During Episode of Violence, for a first reading. This evening, I stand before you to request, after having the opportunity to review the new policy, board approval of Policy 7512. And certainly to receive any questions.
Okay, does anyone have any questions on your second read? So you're asking us to approve the official read?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hearing no anything, I assume that we approve it. So we need to hear a motion to approve policy. Policy number 7512.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we adopt, after the second reading, policy 7512, employees injured during episodes of violence.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve after our second reading, BP 7512, employee injured during episodes of violence policy. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Madam Chair, Board, we have consent items for your consideration tonight. Extended day, fundraisers, and a grant. Any questions?
Need one motion for all three of
Madam Chair, you also need to review 8.3A.
You approve the Smith and Rose Welcome. I'm sorry. Out. Said what? Oh.
Good evening,
We're not trying to leave you out by no means.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, board members, Superintendent Dr. Bryan. The Technology Department requests board approval to submit the Borough's Welcome Fund Prism Grant for South Edgecombe Middle School to support STEAM lessons in the amount of $3,000. The purpose of this grant is to support STEAM lessons focusing on robotics, coding, rocketry, electrical circuits, art, and engineering. This grant will cover 100% of the total grant request, and per board policy, all grants awarded in excess of $1,000 must be brought before the board.
Any questions? Anyone? We need a motion for approval. Yes, sir.
I make a motion to approve all the consent items listed above as presented.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that we will approve all the consent items, and we have 3. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion's carried. Thank you. Now we're on the long list of items for action. And the first one is
Good evening again.
good evening.
I've come before you tonight to request approval to change a couple of things on our school calendars for this year. The first one, you may recall, August 31st, we had some excellent weather and students were not in school. We gave teachers the option to work, and all staff the option to work remotely that day. So, but we do need to change that on the calendar to reflect an optional planning day. Then also we've made a couple of changes to some of our graduation ceremonies. The first one, Edgecombe Early College would like to move their time from 6 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And North Edgecombe High School would like to move their date from Saturday to the previous Thursday, June 6th. It'll still remain at K-Union Auditorium. So it's approval to change those 3 items on the calendars. Any questions?
I have one. Were parents asked about changing graduation to 4 o'clock?
And so the early college, yes, I think he did do a poll for senior parents to make sure that was okay. Yes.
I just want to make sure working parents could get there.
Yes. I think with this advance notice, I think they could make arrangements, yes. I'm one of those parents myself, so. And North Edgecombe, I don't think they had an option because it was booked that day, so.
Y'all have any questions, comments, any? We'll just try to make one. Just put it on our calendar. That's why she's bringing it to us. Right? So if we approve them, then we'll make sure they're on our calendar. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the 2023-24 Edgecombe County Public Schools Traditional Schools, I-Zone Schools, and Early College calendar addendums.
Second. Has been moved and properly second that we will approve 23-24 calendar addendums for our traditional schools, I-Zone schools, and the early college. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. They are approved. Thank you.
Good evening once again, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, board members, Superintendent Dr. Bryan. The Technology Department requests board approval to purchase Learning.com PRC 078 as a sole source for all K-8 schools in the amount of $32,987.12. I provided a chart there for you for the total cost, including sales tax. Learning.com is North Carolina's K-8 digital literacy initiative solution. And the purpose of this purchase is to provide a virtual learning platform for all K-8 students, featuring digital literacy, online safety, keyboarding, coding, and business skill lessons. Per NCDPI PRC 078, Learning.com is the only vendor allowed for purchases with these funds, and Learning.com is a sole source provider. 100% of the funds will cover the cost of Learning.com from NCDPI.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. Hayes? Thank you. I need a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion for approval to purchase Learning.com PRC 078 as a sole source for all K-8 schools in the amount of $32,987.12 using PR 078 funds.
Second. Has been moved and properly second that we will approve the PRC 078 as a sole source for all K-8 schools in the amount of $32,987.12 using PRC 078 funds. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you very kindly, Ms. Taylor.
Yep. Good evening once again, board members. Requesting approval for a one-year agreement with E-Rate Consulting between Edgecombe County Board of Education and Sound E-Rate for the 2024-2025 fiscal year. Sound E-Rate provides consulting services for our E-Rate, assessment of E-Rate needs, E-Rate Productivity Center, which is the EPC, updates, forms, filings of 470, 471, 486, and 472, advice in filing forms 479 and 498, program integrity assurance, selective review and invoice review, and then post-commitment tasks such as Form 500, service subs and spend changes, and appeals, and handling all the audits from the federal government. And they also provide document retention for us in our audits. Sound E-Rate costs for services are based on a percentage of total committed funds, and these funds are capped at $75,000. You have a chart in the packet that shows the rate that Sound E-Rate charges. I believe it's a percentage up to $50,000, and then it's at $1 million, capped at $30,000, $2 million, $45,000, and $3 million, $75,000, I believe, is in the chart. Just for knowledge, our general E-rate in any given year is less than $1 million. E-rate lasts for 5 years and then the cycle repeats. So the funds that we have in E-rate, once those funds are expended, whether we expend them in year 1 or all 5 years, once those funds are expended, we have to wait till the next cycle to get those funds for our E-rate purchases, which cover all our internet services in the infrastructure, and then it also covers not only our internet service, but our equipment to make the internet work. And so, Sound E-Rate, again, cost of service is based on the total committed funds, as I said before, capped at $75,000, and that's with a $3 million commitment. And Sound E-Rate services will be funded by our state PRC 015.
Any questions? Anyone? I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agreement for E-Rate Consulting between the Edgecombe County Board of Education and Sound E-Rate for fiscal year 2024 to 2025.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that we will approve the agreement for E-Rate Consulting between Edgecombe County Board of Education and Sound E-Rate for FY 2024 through 2025. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very kindly.
Tonight, board members, Technology would like to request approval of the program services agreement between Edgecombe County Board of Education and District C for the 2023-2024 school year, beginning October 15th, 2023, and ending June 30th, 2024. District C will provide staff training during the fall and spring semesters and work-based learning and career accelerator experiences for students during the summer of 2024. The cost of District C services will not exceed $59,000. 100% of District C services will be funded by PRC 188, and PRC 188 funds will cover things such as ECPS Career Accelerator Program that happens in the summer for our students during summer school. I provided you the contract of services and the breakdown of cost in your packet. And students, if you read the packet, students will be receiving collaboration with a business. It could be a state business, a local business, or a national business, where they will provide a product to that business to meet the business needs. This will be a 2-week period of time where they'll work together as a group. They will design their product, they'll design their business presentation, and they'll present the presentation back to their business, again, to meet a business need. So it's relevant and it's in real time and it's needed.
Super. Hearing none, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the program services agreement between Edgecombe County Board of Ed and District C during the 23-24 school year with the cost of District C's services not to exceed $59,000 as presented.
Second.
Has been moved and properly seconded that we will approve the program service agreement between Edgecombe County Board of Education and District C during the 23-24 school year with the cost of District C's services not to exceed $59,000. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you very kindly, Mr. Taylor.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Wilson, Vice Chair, Mr. Ellis, board members, and Superintendent Dr. Bryan. I come before you tonight to request the approval for sole source services on behalf of Carver Elementary School. They are looking to partner with the Number Lab. This summer, they sent staff to the Number Lab Institute and provided initial training for staff, and so they're looking for a partnership for the Numbers Lab to come to their school site. While they are on site, they will be modeling lessons for teachers. They'll be working with teachers to create collaborative lessons. They'll be providing them feedback on the implementation. And so they are requesting that sole source in the amount of $14,500. And the request is because Numbers Lab is the only provider of this type of professional development and the methodology.
Anyone have any questions for Ms. Ames? Hearing none, I need to hear a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve the services provided by the Number Lab as a sole source to provide professional development for mathematics and core instruction services in the amount of $14,500 to GW Carver Elementary School using PRC 050-Title I funds.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second double.
Sure.
It has been moved and second that we approve the services provided by the Number Lab as a sole source to provide professional development for mathematics and core instruction services in the amount of $14,500 at GW Carver School using PRC 050 Title I funds. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you very kindly, Ms. Amy.
Dr. Wilson. I only have two tonight.
All right.
So my next request is for the sole source approval with Teach for America. As Dr. Barnes previously shared, they've been working hard on recruitment, and Teach for America partnership is one of those recruitment efforts as a district. We have a long-standing relationship with Teach for America, and they work to help provide teachers in areas that are typically difficult to hire for, particularly mathematics, our exceptional children's department, and some of our English language arts classes as well. We are looking to request funds. The total amount requested for this year is $24,000, and that amount is for 8 core members. Teach for America charges a service of $3,000 per core member, and this service not only helps with the recruitment, but it also helps with talent development. They provide coaching supports for each of the core members throughout the year. And in the table provided, you can see the list of schools that are hosting quorum members this school year and how many quorum members are at that school. So we will braid funds. So we are requesting $18,000 from Title I PRC 050, and then an amount of $6,000 Title II from PRC 103 for the total amount for sole source request is $24,000.
Any questions? Hearing none, I need a motion for approval.
Madam Chair, I make the motion for approval of the services provided by Teach for America as a sole source to provide support with providing teachers in hard-to-hire areas within Edgecombe County Public Schools using PRC 50 Title I funds in the amount of $18,000 and PRC 103 Title II funds in the amount of $6,000 for the years 2023.
It's been moved and properly seconded that we will approve the services provided by Teach for America as a sole source to provide support with providing teachers in hard-to-hire areas within Edgecombe County Public Schools using funds provided by Title I PRC 050 in the amount of $18,000 and from Title II PRC 103 in the amount of $6,000, giving a total of $24,000 for school year 23-2024. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let me know by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried. Thank you, Miss Amy. Okay. All right. Ms. Lily, will you take us into close, please?
I make a motion under the North Carolina Open Meeting Law, Section 143-318.11 A1, A3, and A6 to go into closed session to consider personnel matters, to consult with the attorney to preserve attorney-client privilege information, and to prevent the disclosure of student records rendered confidential under the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G, and the disclosure of personnel records rendered confidential under GS 115C through 319 through 321.
Second. It's been moved and properly second for us to go into closed session. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. The motion is carried, and we will take 3 to 5 minutes.
We approve the personnel management listed.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will approve our personnel management. Any other discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you kindly. Closed session minutes from September 11th, 2023. Need a motion.
Make a motion that we accept the closed session minutes.
Second. Has been moved and properly second that we will approve our September 11th, 2023 closed session minutes. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you. Any other items that needs to be brought before the board? Or board correspondence? Anybody have anything? I didn't hear anything. Item 12, items brought by board members and or superintendent. Dr. Bryan, any other thing? I didn't hear thing. And we're going to item number 13. I need to hear a motion. So moved.
Second.
Has been moved and properly second that we will adjourn. Any other discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. We did fairly good.
Rocky Mountain. Well, Rocky Mountain.
Oh, you did. You just came to something.